Hi, for this video I want to discuss rays and angles. Rays are a portion of a line with a fixed starting point and it extends infinitely in one direction. So here's an example of a ray. This would be named as ray AB, or you can use the symbol for AB. Know that the starting point has to be listed first and the point that it passes through has to be listed second. So if I were to draw another one that I labeled as B and A, this would be written as ray BA or BA with the ray symbol drawn above it. So do make sure that the end point starts first and the point that it passes through, because ray AB and ray BA are different. An angle is formed by combining two rays that meet at the same endpoint. This endpoint is called the vertex. So the vertex is the point where they meet. You can name angles very differently in geometry. Sometimes we will use a number to denote which angle we are talking about. So this would be angle 1. If you have a single vertex, you can use just the vertex, so angle A. This one I could also label as angle B because there's only one angle there. If you have more than one angle that meet at the same point, then you do have to use 3 letters. It doesn't matter which ones you use as long as the vertex is in the center. So I can either call this angle ABC or I can call it angle CBA. So we just use the angle symbol to name it as an angle. Angles can be classified as acute, right, obtuse, or straight. Acute angles are the small ones. They are always between 0 and 90 degrees. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is between 90 and 180 degrees, and a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. So anytime you see a straight line in a figure, then the angle measure would be 180 degrees. You will have some questions sometimes in your geometry class where you have to identify the type of angle. These are the types of questions that you want to get correct because these are the easy ones. We can see on this one that it is more than 90 degrees but less than 180, so this would be an obtuse angle. On this one, because it has the square in there, we will always put a square in right angles because an angle that's 89 degrees is going to look very similar to a 90-degree angle, so typically we put the little square in there, and so this one would be a right angle. Okay, another term that we want to know in angles are complementary angles and supplementary angles. So complementary angles are angles with a sum of 90 degrees, and supplementary angles are angles with a sum of 180 degrees. I do have another video that shows a more complex example of complementary and supplementary angles, so you can always check that one out if you are confused. But here's basic examples of each. So if the two angles are supplementary, remember that supplementary means that added together that is 180 degrees, and one of the angles is 85 degrees. What is the measure of the other angle? All you would have to do to find the other angle is take the 180 degrees minus 85 degrees. And if you do that math, you would end up with 95 degrees. So the other angle would be 95 degrees. Okay, and looking at our last example, if two angles are complementary, so remember with complementary, that means that they add up to 90 degrees, and one angle is 27 degrees, what is the measure of the other angle? So with this, we would again just use subtraction, the 90 minus 27, and you would do that math and end up with 63 degrees. So we can see that the other angle is 63 degrees if you know that the one angle is 27 and they are complementary. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics you would like me to cover, please let me know that as well.